Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with another episode of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Love to see you around more often. Okay, we've just gotten Iran into the Axis here. We're going to keep them peaceful for the moment. There is an event, and I don't know if it's been changed, and I don't think I changed it before I started this. That partitions Iran between Britain and the Soviet Union, which did happen. Basically got invaded, mostly peacefully, with at least the general intention from the British, actually, of only occupying it during the war, and they forced the Soviets out, too, after the war. So Iran wasn't terribly thrilled by it, but still. To move supplies through. And I know in the past I've gone in and added checks to see if they're in the Axis or not, or the Soviet Union's at war. So I may have to go in and change that, because I'm not going to let them partition. I'm not going to let them partition Iran if it's just by an event, if it's in the Axis. So we're doing that. We may need to do that. Okay, so they're attacking us here. These guys are kind of occupy there. And of course we've got Gibraltar. Okay, machine gun focus advance. That is for fighters. Right here, we'll stop that. And medium artillery upgrade has advanced. Yeah, I think this stops that. But you know, maybe we do want to shift over from one to the other. Okay, well, let's see, we can do any of these or both of these. The reason I'm sort of going to do, because we're waiting for that, then we'll have a bunch of other sub units, and these are normally done quick, so let's get through some of those. Okay, bombing Lübeck. The city of Lübeck was the first German city to be attacked in a substantial number by the Royal Air Force. The attack on the night of March 28, 1942, created a firestorm that caused severe damage to the historic center, with bombs destroying 3 of the main churches and large parts of the built-up area. It led to retaliatory Baedeker raids on historic British cities. Although a port, Lübeck was mainly a cultural center and lightly defended. The bombing on the 28th of March 1942 is the first major success of RAF Bomber Command against the German city, followed the area bombing directive issued to the RAF on the 14th of February 1942, which authorized targeting of civilian areas. We will retaliate. Okay, so Lübeck, heavy bombing raids, local modifiers. Oh, cool. So that's gains 2 in descent. Okay, so that's affecting us. Order the Baedeker raids. The Baedeker Blitz or Baedeker raids were a series of attacks. Now, I like this revolver held. I hope you are still watching this. I like the way you've done that. That's a nice picture here with a nice additive of a book cover. There, I really like. This is fine, you know, kind of thing. German troops digging in, great photo. But I always like it when things are done that, you know, add a little bit more to it. Okay, a series of attacks by the Luftwaffe on English cities during World War II. The main set of raids began in April 42. At its peak, May 42, the Luftwaffe continued to attack on targets with cultural value for the next 2 years. The raids were planned in response to the devastating increase of the effectiveness of the Royal Air Force's bombing offensive, starting with the bombing of Lübeck in March 42, the aim was begin a tit-for-tat exchange with the hope of forcing RF to reduce their actions. The targets of the raids were chosen for the cultural and/or historical significance rather than for military value. The raids were referred to on both sides as the Baedeker raids, derived from a comment by a German propagandist, Baron Gustav Braun von Stumm, the spokesman for the German Foreign Office, is reported to have said on 24th of April 42, "We shall go out and bomb every building in Britain marked with 3 stars on the Baedeker." That's okay. That's where I'm getting this guide. I didn't. Now that it's saying it, I think I've heard of it before, but I don't know. I reference to the popular travel guides of the name. Because you sort of want or expect my social commentary on this. This was war at the time. This is how people understood the war. I am, of course, not for the bombing of things purely out of cultural references, city references. Lubeck, I don't know how much of a usefulness, say coastal, so I presume it's up here somewhere. Usefulness to the war effort. If it had a boot factory or something in it, that ain't worth bombing. But I don't have the information to know. I don't support bombing of cities just to support bombing of cities either. But and most cities do contain significant war production, so long as it does, just because they didn't, okay, late war, really expensive, they had some smart weapons, but not like we have today. So, like today, if we're at war with somebody and there's whether it's a terrorist bomb factory, sort of, a hidden factory somewhere making terrorist bombs, or whether there's, a real munitions factory, I'm all for bombing it, even when the factory workers are there. And if some of the bombs miss and hit nearby targets, well, sorry, but we were going after the factory that had, making the bombs or the munitions or whatever it may be, or a command and control headquarters. I know we struck what we thought was either a command and control headquarters or an anti-aircraft tower or something like that in one of the attacks on Iraq. The U.S. did. I think it was the shock and awe campaign under Bush the Younger, and that was filled with civilians. Now, the Air Force didn't know it was filled with civilians, and since I think it was still being used as a command and control node, yeah, you bomb it, so which the civilians would have been safer because of the precise targeting in their own homes. But yeah, it's the tragic. I mean, again, I hope you understand. I'm not saying yay for bombing civilians, even though they're there. It's what you do because it's war. So yeah, and sure, the British started bombed Lubeck. I don't know if they did it for cultural significance, but then again, London had been bombed for culture. Well, not for cultural significance, but it had cultural significance to the British and had been bombed. And who started it? Well, we've got bombing of Guernica that held. I think the bombing of Guernica was pure a terror bombing raid. It was just trying to demoralize the opposition, which was a populist opposition, meaning sort of the Republicans. And I'm not pro-Republican on the Spanish Civil War, but was sort of a populist, women, sort of a militia organization often. So sort of the people. So yeah, but I still think it was sort of a terror bombing versus a tactical military or a strategic bombing of supply dumps or weapons, munition, building or something. And then, of course, you have the smashing of Warsaw. Maybe a little bit of military target there, you could argue, but I think it, was also let's just smash a city. And then Rotterdam. Yes, Rotterdam, they tried to call it off because the city had surrendered. I'm not talking about whether Rotterdam had surrendered or not, but the bombing of Rotterdam was against, mainly just against the city. And the Germans then did use, including under Rommel, threats to destroy a city, not by aerial bombing, but by artillery bombing, in the campaign taking France in the first time. It was after, well, it was, I think it was after Dunkirk, but it was down around here. But but they definitely used that. Well, we'll just bomb your cities if you don't just surrender now. So the Germans continue to use that after Rotterdam and point to Rotterdam as, yes, we're willing to do it, and yes, we will Rotterdam your cities or something like that. And so the Germans were doing it. So, it's both sides, but I still sort of looked at, well, Germany started the war. And so I'm saying this because I know a lot of you are German. After the U.S. right now, Germany's the highest watching channel or country on my channel. So I'm speaking to you guys, and I know it's at best mixed feelings because you guys may hate the Nazis, but it's your people, your ancestors or relatives of your ancestors or whatever, and maybe a few still alive. Don't know if any of you older people are watching, but so it's at best mixed feelings about it. So yeah, okay, so we can do this. They lose in descent. Lose IC. Oh, Germany until we lose IC. I don't want to lose IC. Even 1.5%. We get air organizations. I don't need that. National unity. No, don't need national unity. They get revolt risk up, daily dissent up, national unity down. I don't know. We don't need to do this. I'm not gonna, and I'm not doing this on any sort of moralistic or whatever. But I just don't want to lose the 1.5%. So I'm skipping that. Deploy fortress troops to Norway. Yes. Okay, let's take a quick look. Oh, okay. So we've got a bunch of these units around. And these will probably add to some, because these are pretty weak. Again, as I've talked about before, this unit is only that unit's strong, but it would be much stronger, and this is only this unit, but adding these, say, 2 of these units together here, now these guys already have their heavy or some garrison detachments. Now adding more garrisons to something like that can be useful too, but so you probably should do some combining. I'm going to get the light infantry there. I don't know. I'm going to want them, I think, in the Soviet Union, but so some combining, whether you want to. Now also do know that if you unhook some of these that have more than they're allowed, you can't rehook them back up for immersion or other process. But just so you know, if you want to maximize your defensive abilities. See, there we are. Uh-oh, okay. Battle of Luxembourg, okay, we're going after them. Where is that with Tobin? Okay. You guys stop intercepting so you can repair. Turkey! We give them money. Yes, we want Turkey friendly. Oh, good. The Italians are showing up. That's nice of you. Okay. Amphibious ship defenses, great. Yeah, we want to stop that. Still doing that. I think we have a mixed support here that we can quickly run through. Flak Tower 4 in Hamburg, St. Pauli, and went operational 42, the Flak Tower. We've read versions of that before. Supplies, we're trying to build up, but I think we can afford it. Manpower, yeah, I can afford the one, barely. Look at that. Yeah, that's low. Pillbox radar station, Hamburg, that would be nice. Yeah, we'll do that. Spain joins Axis powers. Why? To defend Spain from Allied attacks. Spain Chief of State Franco joins Axis. Okay, again, this is directed towards revolverheld. I don't like the idea that we don't have a. Now I would want to. I think I would want to accept this, even when, even if I had a choice. But I think Germany should have a choice at this, and I understand from before that there was an American invasion, which may be what is triggering this. And I don't know if that American invasion was specifically triggered by us taking Gibraltar. And that may be the thinking. I did cross my mind that maybe they thought that since if the Axis owns Gibraltar, and that shuts down access to the Mediterranean, means that the Allies, instead of going after Africa, would have gone after Spain, maybe. And I'd like to hear some reasoning on that, which could be done in the text for events. But yeah, we'll take that. Okay, well, I don't know if we're going to still send you away because you're no longer in unapproved. Okay, see, here we go. We got these guys here. Yeah, this is sort of the thing is that they sort of were wandering around. This would have been devastating, they said, and I agree. Ooh, wow. 10 armor units. Fairly light armor, or medium, but small. Okay, 5 there, 15. And they said that they were wandering around to find, you're going to Gibraltar or something, but we have Gibraltar, so they're not going there. They're heading to here, so we need to defeat them before they get here. Wow, this is turning out to be a pretty hard fight for my units. With those units coming, we've got to take them down now. Okay, garrison unit in. Okay, you support the attack. Okay, that should have been enough. At least that's my thinking. This is to deal with that massive invasion. So, coming our way. So that's a little bit of a problem, I would say. You head that way. They're all either moving or attacking. Good from that corps. Okay, they can head south into here as well. April, we're getting near what I want to be going after. Soviet Union, which I really should be moving these forces west. Or east, I should say. Sorry, east. Man, I do know the directions of the compass. It's just sometimes. Okay, well, if we can take these guys down before we get to here, or before they get to here, then we can defeat them, but they're going to lose organization very rapidly in unfriendly territory. So yeah, a little bit of bug problems there, I would say. Okay, well, we've won the Battle of Bayonne, and now we have control. Okay, well, good. You stay where we are because we want to crush those. Okay, control over the Mediterranean. This is happening because we have Spain as well, I believe, coming in because of Mallorca or some of these other places. Supplies plus 5%, money plus 5%, supply throughput plus 5%, resources plus 5%. And, you know, resources, you might go, well, how does that help us? Well, obviously it's checking to control of Spain, which has resources, but resources is one of what you can get out of the ground, but also what you can get to where it needs to go to. And there were resources down in Morocco, I know, that were strategic war resources, and others that Germany needed badly. Being able to ship them without heavy escort, because basically, yeah, we still have these trapped forces here, but which we're going to come in and bomb here shortly. You basically no longer have any subs or aircraft bombing, so you no longer need escorting. So yes, that would happen to us. And Gibraltar, supply effect, or supplies up 5% and supply consumption down 5%. Again, I would sort of put that down to not needing to escort things so much, and it's so much easier to transport them, so it doesn't use up supplies. And the Mediterranean is a big area, so yes, that's good. Defense and depth is advanced, very nice. It's under strategic. We'll let that go. Black Tower 3. Yeah, we'll let that go as well. Okay, you're sort of beat up, but come in here and beat up on these guys some more. Good, we won here. You support that attack. There we go. And you're here now. No, you're. And yeah, you come out of platoon there. And you support that as well. Iran is mobilizing. We have one here, good. Now, we want to crush these guys fast, furiously. Okay, first aid is advanced. Very good. Those are basically done for most of the game. We'll get to 45 likely, but and maybe in 44 we'll just be so desperate to. Okay, sort of waiting on getting that, but let's go with these guys. Flying bombs. And amphibious light armor has advanced. Very good. That will help on our swamp fighting. Cancel. Start on these. And what is political indoctrination? Maybe too far in advance. Yes. Get all of our SS and fascist units. Correctly thinking. Go out and die for the Fuhrer. Okay, Schnell boat flotilla 6 formed and assigned to Marine Commander Norwegian. Okay, good. You see, and I'm, you know, whether it's teasing the Germans or a realistic appraisal of things, you can take it either way. The Americans and the British sort of, hey, they made a, you know, a motor torpedo boat or Schnell boat or whatever you want to call it, really good, or, you know, or very, you know, very good, and they then just stick 2 torpedo tubes on top of it. No, the Germans have got to put the torpedo tubes into the hull, shape everything, you know, and sure, yeah, and it's probably better in some way, but again, it's just sort of that building a really nice thing. And notice I'm saying it's a really nice thing that just takes a lot to build it when you want to build them fast and cheap and get them out there. And does that really help it in some way that the American torpedo boats didn't have? You know, some that they were more accurate or greater range or so much better protected from the environment, or, you know, I don't know. That's sort of, you know, the problem. You know, you make a tank to last 100 years. Uh-oh. Where's Alta? Is that up here? Oh, okay. It dropped in one of those defense units up there, and I should have had them retreat out, or maybe, I don't know, because it didn't check for it. That would be a little too hard to have 100 variations on where you're dropping a bunch of stuff, so that's okay. Okay, well, now we've won it. Okay, almost held out long enough. Not quite. Yes, you're counterattacking us. And we've won there. And you can join that fight. Okay, well, you guys can go for the big stack. We can join in that. Okay, I'll stop this. Okay, battle commander recognition. Very good. Stop. Well, let's see. We already have these backed up. Mountain and Para. Let's go with backing up motorized. That reduces the time between attacks again. I love that. Okay, motorcycle recon has advanced. Good, and our forces are under attack. And we've won the Battle of Alta here. Okay, Dito, crush them. Okay, SS heavy tank, anti-tank units. Yes, we want that. And we still probably didn't place, I don't know what, but oh, those motorcycles maybe. this. Okay, battleship crew training. And let's see about stopping that. I think I noticed something about battle damage control. Or something here. Yeah, battleship damage control system. Yeah, maybe we have something better to do that isn't pushing that far ahead, like a lot of these things. And air launched torpedoes. I'm pretty sure that will also be a. Okay, it's actually grayed out. We will come over here and yeah, increase the range, offset some of the things that decrease the range. Armored car designs advance. Oh, and I do realize, like here, where this increases the range a little bit, where when we do something like this, it decreases the range for well, it's heavy transports, but some of these other transports, it decreases the range. So it's a balancing act through this stuff. What was it that we were armored car designs? Okay. Yeah, well, if that cancel. Yeah, we'll do that. We do have 3 of those. Been waiting for this. Okay. I would have changed some of my things, but whatever. So we will get infantry upgrade advance, and as those others finish, we will shift them over there. You attack too. Sunlight at last. Okay, good. We gotta move the headquarters down closer there. And we gotta get, well, yeah, we gotta get a lot of these guys over to the east very quickly here now. I'll probably do that off camera. And get in some sort of. Let's look at this. Okay, well, we want to build some radar here. We've got a little bit of air base. That's good. Yes. Let's move these guys up to the top. Radar down here will help. Oh, these guys aren't going to make it in time, I don't think, at least. Okay, they're attacking again. Self-sealing fuel tanks. Avionics. Okay, they're maxed out, so these will transfer over to the light branch. Research points. Armored Engineers Advance, which I think is grayed out. Okay, which means we'll come over here for the Special Forces branch. Them approved. Winterkampfschule. Winter Warfare School was established in April 42 in the southwestern Germany. to provide a dedicated training facility for specialized infantry units such as the elite Gebirgsjäger divisions and light infantry formations, Jäger Division, of the Wehrmacht to fight in difficult terrain such as the Balkans, Norway, and Russia. Okay, yes, that's one of the. I recognize that's one of the Mountain Warfare School photos. Okay, supplies 3,000. Yeah, we're building that back up. Lose 10 manpower. Oh God. Okay. I know it gave us an OB of something. Let's make sure I find the right place. Oh, it's up here actually. Wow. Maybe I'm mistaken about the photo because I thought I have the schools are Grenache Packian here. Okay, well, gives us another pretty good. Got a headquarters. It's pretty good with pack artillery, Jaegers, ski infantry. Well, if you want to cannibalize that, that would be a very useful thing to cannibalize. Okay, we got a lot of tropical island garrisons. Good. We'll be sending those out soon. But now that we are here with these guys, okay. Well, we should not be seeing a what do you call it? An Allied landing into the Mediterranean now, which I'm not going to. Well, it was much later in 42, but I'm not going to help make happen because I want to go after the Soviet Union, and I definitely, and I haven't gone and looked, but I'm pretty damn sure that I've gotten a lot less ICs than I had last time. Yeah, let's be based there for the moment. So, I am a little more worried about the invasion of the Soviet Union this time than last, and having excess forces. And I'm already seeing that I built a whole bunch of good forces for dealing with North Africa and occupied it last time in preparations to the invasion. Okay, march into there. Good. You attack from here. And you attack from here. Okay. Medium artillery upgrade has advanced. Very good. I'm pretty sure that's grayed out. So, we have others of these self-propelled anti-tank or rocket self-propelled anti-tank weapons. Yes, of course these are the Panzerfests at start, and then later the Panzer Schreck is a copy of the American bazooka, but we'll take this. And an improvement, I think, on the American bazooka. Okay, Laval remained out of office until April 42, when Berlin pressured Pétain into restoring him to power. The Germans rightly calculated that they could obtain from him greater supplies of French workers than they were getting from his predecessor, Admiral Darlan. Engaged massively against the Soviet Union, the Germans also knew that, frankly, collaborationist regime in France under Laval guaranteed their security in the West, Laval responded by accentuating his collaborationism. Okay. That's Marshal Pétain in civilian clothing. That's Admiral Darlan, and that's Laval. Yeah. And it does matter because, look, whether it's the postal workers, the police, the police I have less sympathy for on an anti-collaborationist, but postal workers, yeah, you're just delivering people's mail. And sure, some of it's going to and from Germans, but also other administrative people. They're going to sort of continue doing their jobs to one degree or another. And if the policies coming from the very top are a bit more pro-German, they're going to do a bit more pro-German work. So if you can get what seems to be a legitimate government of France, that the people feel reasonably legitimate. Obviously there are resistance types, but okay, so currently we have head of state Pétain, foreign minister, and so Laval will become head of French government, head of security, and head of intelligence. So the head of government, that'll switch to Laval. Head of security, which will have that, and head of intelligence. Okay, well, the Laval regime commences. And this is where I completely and totally agree that this is becoming out and out collaborationist. Prince of Terror, yeah. So he really is. I'm not saying the judgment of the French people on Pétain is wrong, but I don't see him anywhere like the situation of Laval. What else? Oh, we need to redo some of this. Okay. Well, we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank everyone for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. And, of course, please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas. I love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron. Let me save this. Close. Okay. We're ending this. See you next time.